Solving by factoring, part 1. So when we are given a quadratic equation and asked to solve, one of the ways to do this is by factoring. Let's go through the steps of solving as we do the example problems below. Okay, example 1. We have x squared minus 7x minus 18 equals 0. The first step we always want to make sure that we do is make sure that the quadratic equation is equal to 0. I like to think of it as a surprised smiley face. It kind of looks like a smiley face that's surprised. But in this case, example 1, this is already happening, right? X squared minus 7x minus 18 already equals 0, but it won't always start like that, so we need to make sure we do that first. The second step is to use the diamond method to factor the quadratic. And you should have done the diamond method in the last part, but just a brief reminder, we always put the c value on top of the diamond, so negative 18 goes up there, and we're going to put the b value on the bottom, and we want two numbers that times to the top and add to the bottom number. And as we're thinking about it, we can see that negative 9 and positive 2, there we go, are our two puzzle pieces, okay? And just to remember how to put it in factored form, we're going to write x minus 9, parentheses, x plus 2, parentheses, and reminder that that still equals 0. And now our third step, which we haven't done yet, is set each parentheses equal to 0 and solve each equation for x. These are our answers. So what I mean by that is we're going to take this parenthesis, x minus 9, and I'm going to separately set it equal to 0, x minus 9 equals 0. And in the same way, I'm going to take this parenthesis here, x plus 2, and separately set it equal to 0. And we need to solve both equations for x. So draw your line down the equal sign. We want to get x by itself, so we're going to add 9 to both sides. These cancel right here, and we get x equals 9. That's one of our answers. Again, move over to this yellow equation, and we're going to draw our line. We're going to take away 2 from both sides. Those cancel there, and we get x equals negative 2. So our two answers are x equals 9 and x equals negative 2. Not too bad, right? Example 2. X squared plus 6x equals negative 8. So this problem we're definitely going to have to do step 1, which is making sure it equals 0. Right now, the equation is equal to negative 8. It is not equal to 0. So we need to move that negative 8 over to the left side. How do we do that? Well, opposite operation. We're going to add 8 here, and in the same way we're going to add 8 here. Okay? Now these are going to cancel over here, and on the left side we really want to make sure we write the equation with this order, because that's what helps us do diamond. So when I'm looking at this whole bunch of this expression over here, I'm going to want to write x squared first, then I'm going to want to write 6x, and lastly I'm going to want to write plus 8. And then we know that it equals 0. That's good, that's what we wanted. Now we can do diamond method. So here's my diamond. I'm going to put 8 on top. I'm going to put 6 on the bottom. Remember, we want to times to 8, add to 6. And we see the two puzzle pieces are 4 and 2. We're going to write that in our factored form with our parentheses, x plus 4 parentheses, x plus 2 parentheses equals 0. Remember, our last step is we want to set each parenthesis equal to 0 and solve in each scenario. So here's my two different equations. X plus 4 equals 0. In the same way, x plus 2 equals 0. We want to solve, so I'm going to start over here on the left. To do opposite operation, I'm going to undo the plus 4 by subtracting 4. Those cancel. We get x equals -4, one of our answers. Over here, draw your line, -2, -2. We get x equals -2. And we're done. Last problem here. Again, it doesn't equal 0. I don't see the surprise smiley face, so that's my first and foremost step. So we want to move that 10x. I'm going to subtract 10x from both sides, minus 10x. They cancel over here on the right side. Now again, be very, very careful of how you write this left side. We want to write x squared first. Then I want to write my negative 10x next. Minus 10x. Finally, I want to write my plus 25 because this is the order we write our quadratic equations in order to use our diamond, okay? Those equal 0. We're good to go to use our diamond. So here's my diamond. 25 goes on top. -10 there on the bottom. Looking for two puzzle pieces here that times to 25. Add to -10. We can see it's going to be -5 and -5. Next step is write that in factored form. X minus 5 parentheses x minus 5 equal to 0. We're ready now to do our setting them equal to 0 separately. X minus 5 equals 0. X minus 5 equals 0. We can see we're going to get the same answer in both situations, right? X equals 5, and we'll also get x equals 5 over here. So in this case, we only have one answer, which is x equals 5. And we're done.